and welcome to M&M Reviews. My name is Rita.
And my name is Miraj, and in this video we'll be reviewing the latest episode of WandaVision. That is episode 6. Yeah, we're gonna review episode 6. We just finished watching it, like right now, and wow. What do you think, Rita? Wow is what like strikes my mind.
I feel like I'm less like wow and I'm more like overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah. I just feel very overwhelmed. So I'm just like complete and total spoiler alert, but you know, like at the end of the episode, Wanda, she like really like puts her heart into it and like really like blows up the like area she's controlling, and I feel like that is really like what the episode was like in terms of the show. It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like the episode just really like clenched its arms and fists and really like blew up the show, because now it's like, because what Geraldine or like Monica, she has like superpowers. Darcy is in the hexagon, the military is in the hexagon, only that guy escaped. This like the James Woo, like Monica Darcy trio is like broken up and has been cast out of the investigation. Vision is completely like rogue. Agnes turns out to like just be like an innocent bystander. The children have superpowers. Like Pietro is there. So it's just, I just feel like the episode, it just gave you so much, and there was just like non-stop something. It's just like there was just every shot and every scene I felt was just completely full of like information. There was no time to assimilate it because it was like the next thing. So I don't even know like what to review here.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, that's a very good point actually. Yeah, the episode like really like broke down like the little amounts of narratives that you thought were the show was like going on, because you know I thought, you know, it would be like this episode, it would be this thing where like the sword agents, they would try to do something more to get in there to free the people. Perhaps Vision, he would like work against Wanda a bit, but you know that would be like the narrative going forth. But then they kind of like broke that down by just, you know, adding so much more potential into the show by expanding it with all these people, capturing all these people. Vision being like full anti-Wanda, I didn't expect that either. Adding this like new dimension, how like the sword head is really hiding something, separating the body cup trio. Yeah, it was just like a lot. So, I mean, this show is like so hard to predict, because I really thought going into this episode that it was this like unclarity, you know, whether Wanda was like the person doing this or not, you know, because in the past episode, they, when Vision freed the guy, he said like she is doing it, and Wanda said, I don't know how this is happening. But then like they really switched that up on you again, and now it seems that it's all just like Wanda right from the get-go, even though perhaps she's a bit confused exactly about how she originated it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I think like there's like three things I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to talk about like the Agnes situation. Because I thought like previous to this episode, I thought like there was a whole setup with like Agnes like knowing something, being in on it somehow. Like she's they were like clearly setting her up to be somehow like part of the story more, because she was there from the first episode. She's like always coming in at this like inopportune times. They're doing this kind of like magic in front of her, like not trying to hide things, and then she always has this like cheery attitude. So to me it felt like there was like something more, where it's not just like Wanda is controlling her, but like Agnes is really like in on it somehow. Because like why would Wanda choose to bring Agnes like in so closely to them? Like why do they need this like neighborhood friend?
Yeah, I mean, because she was even in the trailer for this episode, you know, like the trailer, you know.
Yeah.
With the 90s film trailer.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The like intro, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's definitely, you know, as the guy from Screen Rant would say, subverting expectations is tight. Because, you know, but it's like, here they made it seem that she's like also...
She's just completely gone, yeah.
Yeah, very gone. Like, almost as like trapped as the other one. But I mean, obviously there's something special with her, you know.
But it's like now we know what it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like last episode where she was like, oh, should I do that again? Should I take it from the beginning? You wanted me to hold them. I really like. We both thought that she was like trolling, and it was she was like on purpose creating the situation between like Wanda and Vision and making it awkward. But now I'm like.
So like,
then it wasn't that.
But now it can be like perhaps just like Wanda is just like kind of like randomly gave her a special role to have in all of this. But I mean, I still think it's like
something is there.
But
it's not that.
I still think it's like possible that she like knew Wanda from before, and perhaps that's her like special role in it all, if you know what I mean. You know, but it's like I think it's becoming more and more unclear whether she really is, how much similarity she has between this like Agatha Harkness character from the Marvel comic books. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then the second thing I wanted to talk about was like Vision, right? Because I am like, so obviously it's very surprising that he like really goes against like Wanda. But I think like what struck me was that like, I mean, he really feels like his duty and his like care is like towards the townspeople rather than to Wanda. I think like that's very like interesting. You know, like, I mean, obviously Wanda is like the villain, but at the same time, like, I mean, I think, like, it's so much more clear when you have, like, Pietro there as the contrast, right? Because he's like, oh, you know, what you're doing, like, obviously this is crazy, but, like, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't necessarily expect Vision to be, like, in the same, like, oh, I'm completely fine with this. But he's really, like, on the opposite end of the spectrum, where he seems to have, like, he just seems to be really, like, shocked and hurt by what, like, there seems to be no kind of like compassion or understanding from him towards her. So it really makes you think that it's like, you know, like I guess he has no memory of their like life or story together because he doesn't remember the Avengers. So it's really like he was just incarnated as like her husband without any of like roots of their relationship.
Yeah.
So I think like that's something really interesting there.
It is really interesting. I think it was like really interesting also on the Pietro situation. Or was that your third point? No.
No. Okay. You can just take the Pietro situation.
Where it was like how he is like aware that Vision has like died, right? Okay. So there's this like big theory out there. Or there was this big theory out there that like Pietro is was like Mephisto, aka the devil, you know, and trying to get Wanda to stay. And I thought that was like quite plausible, but now that's really like been undermined also, because not only is he not that, because he appears to her dead, but it's also crazy that has like this awareness of what has happened after his death. So I really don't get what's going on.
Dead Pietro, that was also like. It is okay. Quick then on like this Pietro thing, just interjection. It's like so Vision, he's able to like kind of almost leave Wanda's field alive, but like maybe he's still like drawing power on it. So it's like really unclear, like, you know, how alive and how dead are these people? Because they really go out of the way to show us they're dead. Agnes knows Vision is dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, does Vision appear as dead to everybody around him? Like...
No, I don't think that. I think Agnes just knew he was dead because she like knew he died in Infinity War. Because I assume like there must have been a report. But I mean, it was crazy to me that Vision appeared as alive to the people outside the force field.
But he was really like tethered into her space, so I don't know.
But still that he appeared alive, I thought was like...
But that's the thing then, it like really makes you wonder, so it's like, would it be impossible for him to leave alive?
Yeah,
and I guess they really were like teasing you, and they really don't give you an answer on that. Because it's like, he could have just died once he leaves, but you also kind of feel like, but if she like maybe just chose to let him go, could he just live outside?
Yeah, if she just chose... I mean, I'm so excited for next episode, because, you know, in the trailer, it's this like moment where like Vision is like... Wanda is to Vision, this is our like neighborhood or like family or home, this is our home, and then Vision is all like, so let's fight for it then. So is he gonna come over to Wanda's side voluntarily? Because there are like 3 hypotheses to what could make sense of that. One is that he comes over to Wanda's side. 2 is that there's like an actual villain, right? So they protect like beyond Wanda. Or 3 is this, that she really like mind erases him, like take control.
And I feel it could just be anything.
And it could, but that's like with the show,
like
it can always just be anything.
Predict the show, more like really trying to understand the show. That's how I think. So that was like the third thing I would talk about is like Wanda's children.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have like more like clever review here. I just think it's really fun that they really like just went all out and just straight up made them like X-Men. Yeah. Because they're like, they have no origin story. They're just kids and they're tapping into their powers.
I thought it was like interesting how like... It's interesting how Wanda wasn't surprised that they had like powers. Yeah. Because she was surprised when they grew up quickly in the last episode. I mean, the whole thing with the kids also, like, oh my god, like all the kids just showed up out of nowhere, and there were so many of them. And specifically with regards to her kids, they for sure, right, are the only ones that are not under her control at all. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think with Pietro, he might not be under her control, but I think she could, like, he might also be under her control.
I don't know, if he was under her control, why would he say, like, her dead husband can't die twice? I think the reason they had him say that was to show that he's not under her control.
Yeah. But he just, I guess, like, but would he be like so willing with all of this, you know?
But I guess he was dead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's like, I mean, it's like, he just, I mean, like, I don't know, it's just like so funny. I can't believe it's Disney in 2021. But I mean, like, if you think about, like, if you died and, like, you know, your dead family member or whatever called you to life, like, I mean, you're dead. Like, I feel like you're just not really invested. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I guess maybe you come back with, like, oh, we must do what's right. But I feel like you mostly come back with, like, compassion for them and just kind of, like, you know... True. You've been like he's really been like called in to play like a duty, which is also I feel like what I would expect of like Vision, right? This you've been called in to be like this duty, but he's like he seems to have this really strong internal duty towards like the people. I just think it's very interesting. Where does that come from? I mean, he's a robot, right? Like he's an AI. Like why would he have this really strong desire to help? I guess it's like he can perceive their suffering with his mind stone. We never like have learned what he does with his mind stone.
Does he have the mind stone still? That's the question. You know?
Oh, because it was not in his corpse head.
It's not in his corpse head.
But he can do...
He can use his mind powers. So I think that's super weird, right? How...
Yeah, oh my god. I didn't even think about that. That's so weird.
Yeah.
So she like invented like a mind stone for him because he wears it.
Yeah. But so it's like when he does the brain stuff, is he tapping into like the power she gave him?
So she...
I mean, there could be like something here also about like how actually like in the end, like both Pietro and Vision are like 100% controlled by Wanda, but she has like program them to be like more like free because that gives her like a better like interaction with them, you know, and that would be I think that would be like the creepiest would be the creepiest thing if that was the case.
Yeah, so like when he's like, you don't control me, and she's like, don't I? It's like, you know, she knows she does.
She knows that like even his like acts of resistance towards her is like her having programmed that into him, and that would be really freaky.
Okay, I want to just bring up some more like freaky things from the episode.
Yeah.
First of all, like the commercial.
Yeah.
Right, so it's like, I mean,
that was
every
so
episode, the commercials get more and more disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the Lagos commercial last week was already very disturbing.
Yeah.
But this commercial...
I didn't get this commercial.
I don't know, it was like she's trying to get magic. Magic keeps you alive. 'Cause
Magic.
it was yo magic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think another thing that was like really interesting in this episode is like how Pietro and the children interact with each other.
Her children? Or
Yeah, because they are like, because if it's true, right, that the children, which it seems, by all intents and purposes, it seems true that the children are the one who have free will there, like her children, right? Because they were also like in the trailer, like doing the trailer and talking with the camera, and her kid was Vicken, the one with the magic abilities, was the one who sensed vision, and Wanda like needed her to tell him.
She
right?
needed him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if that's the case, then why are the children like so fine with like this like random stranger showing up? And I don't know, is that just how children are? I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I don't know. There's something weird there.
Yeah.
And then the herb thing, that was really weird.
That was really weird.
Because he was kind of like saying what was gonna happen before it had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Quicksilver's, I mean, his whole thing is that he moves so quickly, right?
Yeah.
So, and they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I didn't understand what the purpose was. Like,
No,
what
me
are they
neither,
trying to show with that? Because they made such a big show of it that he tells her what they're doing.
Yeah.
Then we see it happening. Even if, like, hypothetically he was getting reports in real time, it's like nobody observing what was happening could the report so immediately, right? So there was like a whole like setup there, and then he was like, with the do you want anything to change?
Yeah.
So that was like something creepy.
Yeah.
But again, it's just
hard.
There's no point trying to figure it out. I feel like it's
Yeah,
like
but
you
this show
just
is
have
so
to.
good.
I think the show really is about like just observing
Yeah.
what they're showing you.
Mm-hmm.
A bit like with your inner intuition or something. It's
Yeah.
just more about like listening to and like receiving what you're being shown without necessarily trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a like wild ride.
I mean, the show is so great that because you can't really predict the ending at all. Because like in the ending, I'm all like the question that bugs me now is are her kids gonna be alive at the end? Are they gonna survive this? Because imagine if she loses her kids at the end, that would just be like so.
Well,
awful.
isn't that the setup for her to become the ultimate villain in the Marvel universe, right?
Yeah. So I mean, they might just like go full on that and do that. But now you can't really even predict like one episode to the next. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next episode or where they're gonna take this. One thing I think that is, however, clear at this point, right, is that Wanda, at this point, is gonna be like a villain in the MCU, right? Because she can't really go back from this. Cause in the beginning,
she can't go back, yeah.
Because in the beginning, right, they filmed it as there's this like small neighborhood, and perhaps there was like this 200 people, or like not even that, perhaps 100 people who she was controlling, and it was like unclear whether she caused it or she was doing it.
Yeah, it was so much more because at the talent show, the whole town was there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But now it's this like huge. It's like, it was not huge, but it was like a really big community. And like they're all just suffering and crying because of her, and now she included even more people. So I think like even if it's the case that there's this like other villain above and beyond her, she's definitely gonna be a villain after this, because there's no really coming back.
No,
right?
You can't come back
From having captured and like mentally tortured like thousands of people.
Yeah, and then you can't come back. I think it's interesting with this that she captured like the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, damn, it's a really crazy show.
I'm so excited. It's so awful that we have to wait 1 week for the next episode, you know.
Yeah, but I think it gives you time also to like prepare. I think
Mentally.
I think that's the thing where it's like it's like it's a bit too much to. I feel like I need to watch this episode like 2 more times really to prepare for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because I just feel there was so much going on in it. I just want Wanda to find peace. Yeah.
But I guess, do you have anything more you want to talk about? I mean, there like so much more that could be talked about. Like, for example, Sword, like what are they doing? Why are they interested in Vision? What's the secret file? But all of that, like, somehow kind of just seems irrelevant almost.
Yeah, I agree. It is interesting about, like, I had like one question during the show where it's like, so we're shown that on the perimeter, right? The people that are not moving.
Yeah.
And is it because like it's too much effort for her to like force them to move when she's not around them? Because at that point it's like, why, if she, because like, okay, the explanation we got was we haven't seen the kids before because they were just in their beds sleeping. So if these people are just going to be standing outside, like, is it like they're waiting in case she needs to use that area for something, so they only respond to her, like, coming? Like, why can't they just be asleep and she knows, like, what her radius is? Like, I thought that was, like, a very, very mysterious. Like, I feel like there's something to it.
Yeah.
Because, like,
that's a really good point.
It doesn't make sense to just say, like, well, she doesn't have the energy to, like, power that many people, or, you know, like, she's really stretching it. Because it feels like at that point, she would just put them to bed, like, turn that whole block dark. Yeah. Vision just walks through this like haunted, empty, dark streets.
Yeah, that's
until
true.
He encounters a wall.
Yeah. That's really good point.
But they're there with the costumes.
Yeah, they were like ready to be in action, but then they were like taken out of action.
Yeah, so I feel like there's something really interesting there. Because I guess like what they really want to show us is that like, no, she doesn't have the capacity to like easily like run every single person in the area like she's controlling. Because if it was like really easy, right, she would just do that. Or she doesn't have the intention. Like, so that's the thing, is like, or she does not have the desire. Because she like doesn't want to force them into things that are more than necessary. So there's just like, again, like I have no answer, but I felt like that was something that they showed us, not just for the creepy factor, although the creepy factor was really high, but I think there was some depth there.
No, that's a really good point, because usually that's the type of thing you could like write off to, like, oh, this is just a trick, or like this was just a trick of storytelling, because, you know, this way they could like show Vision the full extent of her like malevolence easier. And that's really all to it. But I feel like in this show, you know, you're right, like, there's nothing that really ever is just that, you know, there's always, like, more to it. So then, that's a very good question. And the question is, how is she gonna, like, run now, like, a bigger city more fully? Because I guess the next, like, episode will be in the 2000s. So, and I guess then it makes sense for, like, their life in the TV show to be like bigger, you know, because it's less of, I mean, the 2000s TV shows were less about this like small family in this suburbia, but it became like bigger, you know?
It was like the 2000s sitcom. It was gonna be like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Is that from the 2000s?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Hey, that's a good point. Hey, that would be fun if they did that.
Is that from the 2000s?
Yeah, I think so.
Or like the Paris Hilton show or something, you know?
Perhaps they're gonna do this thing now where there's like a camera crew following.
Like a reality show.
Yeah, like type of, or like reality, or like an office type, the office type setting, you know. Well, I'm so excited to see. Quick yes or no. So do you think there's a villain above and beyond Wanda, or do you think she's like the villain? Because I mean, I think
quick yes or no.
Quick yes or no. Just quick yes or no. No. Do you think she's the villain?
I think it just would be too many layers.
I think so. I think it makes sense also, because I think this explanation of how like she just But they're so good with doing this like double entendre, you know. Because when she explains to Pietro, like, how it happened, how she doesn't really know how it happened, she was like, I was just so alone, and there was just this like extreme feeling of like nothingness, and then poof, this was here, right? I think that's like really signifies that it could just be her, you know. But it also really like still leaves the door open for there being this like, you know, she made a deal with the devil unconsciously or something like that. What a show.
But this like thing with the devil, it's like, does she need the devil to help her create this?
Yeah, that's true. She wouldn't need it.
I mean,
she has the powers.
Thanos with like one hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Like 2 movies ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, she wouldn't need the devil's power to do it. It's true.
So I feel that's a bit like, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think it's like getting definitely less and less likely that there's an external villain beyond Wanda.
Anyway, it was a great episode. I enjoyed watching it, even though I was also like, oh my god, I can't breathe. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have any concluding remarks?
Any concluding remarks is no.
Okay, well then that's the end of our video. Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.